Howdy y'all.
Hi guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angela.
From RNA Music.
I have a
What do you got on?
Bellman Rogue.
Bellman Rogue.
Oh.
We're not from Bellman Rogue. We're from RNA Music, your favorite mom and pop music lesson studio and guitar shop. Deep in the heart of
Texas.
jelly bean territory. Texas, what you got there? A bucket of sweet tart jelly beans. Because we're watching our diet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ow! I'm falling apart in my old age. And we're here for another episode of Ask RNA, where we answer y'all's questions from all over the world. So excited. Let's get to it.
Okie dokie.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. It is episode 341.
Awesome.
341 episodes of Angela
Yes.
answering your burning questions.
Mm-hmm.
It is February 24, 2022.
Yep.
Day that will live in infamy.
Probably.
Russia's being a biscuit right now.
Some of them.
China's being kind of
Itchy sketchy.
they're kind of messing with Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
It's crazy world we live
Crazy.
in.
So we're just gonna continue on. It's
Keeping
a
the
snow.
music alive.
It's an ice day in Texas, so we're
Yes.
actually closed. It is 2:00 in the afternoon. We're filming. Shop is closed because of icy conditions in Texas. People can't drive when there's sheets of ice on the road.
Even though you hear people driving out there.
Even though there's still some brave Texans out there on the road.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some people who've been in some wrecks.
Yes, there's been quite a few wrecks. Yeah.
No teaching today, but we are going to answer y'all's burning questions at RNA Music. If you want some swaggity swag and a sweet beard, you can go to the link down in the description down below and get you an RNA Music t-shirt, some comfy pants, or a cuppy cup, or any of that stuff. Go get you some of that if you want to support small business. Let's get on to the questions.
Okay.
First question, Ronan67, hashtag Pizzatolas. Okay, here's a quick non-guitar / music question for you all.
Good.
Have you seen the promos or trailer for the new Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power? Any thoughts? Looking forward to it. Will you be watching? Hashtag KTME. Seen any of that?
Yeah.
You've seen
I have.
promos?
I saw like a promo of it with the fire going through the word Lord of the Rings or whatever it said, rings or something.
Lord of the Bean.
And they, everybody was like, "Oh my goodness, that's really cool." And they were talking about how it wasn't CGI; it was actually poured liquid metal, and they slowly filmed it. And then they were like, "See, look!" And they actually showed it being poured. Of course, they kind of cleaned it up to make it more, movie-esque quality, but it was legit live filmed, melted ore getting poured into the word.
But not like the actors and characters promo, like a preview.
No, I haven't seen anything like that. I've seen clips of photos of Elrond as a young man, Galadriel as a young woman, elven woman, elvish, elvenist-ish.
Elvenator.
I don't know. Like a prince, elvenish? I don't know. Anyways.
Elvi.
I've seen that. And there's a couple of battle scenes that have been leaked that I've seen. But I haven't seen an actual...
like an
promo.
official clip or something.
Yes, and I don't know. I'm excited. I don't really honestly care at this point. After The Hobbit, I'm not going to go in trying to pick apart the CGI and like the costumes. Like people are tearing down all the costumes, like the dwarves royalty costumes.
That's
they're
the
like,
wrong kind of
they're like, that is
architecture.
just so ridiculous. It looks like paper mache. I'm like, give me a break. You do better then. Shut your pie hole and you do better. I think it's more about the storytelling. Mm-hmm. If they get the storytelling right, I think it'll be pretty good.
Well, they set the bar incredibly high with Lord of the Rings.
They really
It's like,
did. But you're talking about an Amazon
how's
series.
the TV show gonna compete with that movie? Mm-hmm. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, it's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. We'll probably watch it and critique it mercilessly.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
I'm not expecting it to be great.
Yeah.
The last couple of times I've expected something from movies, I've been severely disappointed. So, we'll probably watch it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For sure.
Thank you, Ronan67. Next question, Jack the Rabbit. Question or two for next week. Do you believe Elvis Presley would have gotten as famous as he did if he had not ripped off black artists of the day? Example, Big Mama Thornton originally sang Hound Dog. Oh, dang it, Jack the Rabbit with your controversy. And her version is absolutely incredible. I've listened to her version of that, actually.
I have to.
Elvis' version sucks and was clearly written from a woman's perspective. Are there any artists you can think of like Elvis who shouldn't be famous but are? Oh my gosh. I would put the Beatles on this list, as well as the Rolling Stones and anyone who came from the British invasion. It's all just African American music, blues, which is exported to England and just came back to America disguised in another color. I'm not black myself, but for some reason this bit of musical history bugs the heck out of me. The Beatles ruined music and America.
Wow.
In my opinion. Music has been all downhill since the Beatles came here. I don't know if it's been downhill since they came here. Some of my favorite music is post Beatles.
Yes, that's all I was going to say. A lot of the people that I love and respect are after the Beatles, not prior to the Beatles. So,
yeah. There's not a lot of bands before the Beatles that I was like, oh my God, they're the best thing ever.
I think that the Beatles opened up a door for certain types of music that just wasn't around before them. And then all of a sudden you had this great breakaway and modern in the forefront. You had, Smokey Robinson and people that weren't being really looked at on a national scale are now being looked at. So Gladys Knight and the Pips, the Temptations, like there was this whole genre of music. I don't know if that was prior to, I think that was the 50s, but they didn't get there, I don't think, as big as they were until the 60s and whenever television took off and really started making it. It was something that we wanted to do, like the Ed Sullivan Show. People wanted to watch it and see all that stuff. I might have my timeline completely skewed, but yeah, those people, I don't know about that.
Do you believe Elvis would have gotten as famous as he did without ripping off black artists?
Probably. One, because he was freaking fine. He's fine. He was a good-looking man.
Were there other famous white bread artists who weren't doing? I mean, surely there were like national like.
I mean, if you think of like Buddy Holly and all those other artists that were around at that time, they weren't like exceptional singers where you're like, oh my gosh, he has such an amazing voice. They just had like a niche. They had this look to them. They had this way of rocking the stereotypes of what their generation should be doing and should be singing, like church music and folksy type music. So yeah, I think he would, because he pushed the boundaries. Even though he sang black people music, he pushed the boundaries. He did. And because he was so...
You got a hair on your face. It's not mine.
What?
It's yours.
It's my hair.
It's your hair.
It's my hair.
It's your hair.
He was so good looking, and he just had a voice. So I don't think it, like for that time, you know what I'm saying? Not that he was like, oh my gosh, he is an amazing singer.
Right.
It was just that he had a certain voice that wasn't normal for the time that people were listening to him, like Frank Sinatra.
He had an amazing amount of charisma.
Yes, and so with that combination, I think he could have been in any genre and would have taken off. He could have been in country music and taken off.
Well, because like Sinatra was before Elvis.
Right.
Obviously.
I'm saying he kind of broke that mold. Everyone was like, what is this like croony type singing? What is this? And he became famous because he had the look. He had, even though he was a skinny little thing when he first started off. But I don't know. I think he would have, because he was just flipping good looking. And I think that's what helped it.
Probably. I was going to say probably not.
Oh.
Because I think the thing... on top of Elvis's looks and charisma and all that sort of stuff is the fact that he really ushered in, to mainstream white American culture.
Yeah.
That music.
Right.
Which I think was a huge. It was a pivot in American musical history, and I don't think he did it. I'm not like the greatest Elvis aficionado or fanboy or anything, but I'm like, I think he did that. It wasn't to like, I'm gonna steal their music and get rich and famous. I think it was like he absolutely loved that music out of a deep passion for that music.
Right.
And honestly, because
he loved black people.
Because of that, those artists are now well known all over the world.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing with like Led Zeppelin and a lot of like the British, people's super latched on to American deep blues music.
Right.
And yeah, they hot rodded it and repackaged it and sold it back to us. And Led Zeppelin kind of stole some stuff and didn't want to give people credit for it. But they also ushered in, a newer appreciation of the older blues music that caused a whole generation and a whole
to go back and look
to go and like where did they get this from? I think Clapton, I could be wrong because I'm not an official Clapton fanboy either, but I feel like he would point back to this guy Muddy Waters and Albert King and these guys, and they championed these blues artists who essentially had a second wind, a second coming of their career because of white people coming and repopularizing the music that they
exposing
invented.
it to a whole group of
a
people,
broader audience
that would never be exposed to it at all in their family. He was a big, just when it came to who he was, he stirred the pot so hard and shook the tree
and the
of
establishment
music.
of the time hated him.
Oh my gosh, people hated him, churches hated him, everybody hated him for introducing this type of music because they wanted to segregate music so badly that but he broke that mold. And so because of what he did, and yeah, he did use a lot of black music, but how many times do you see country artists cover other people's songs, or R&B artists or Christian artists? Like, this is just the thing.
You play the music of the people who inspired you.
Exactly. And if you know that you have a platform that will bring that to light, then you use it. However it is it might not seem right or might not seem fair, but that's how it worked back then.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't hate him for it or begrudge him for it, or even the Beatles for it, because the time that they were living in was so chaotic when it came to racial relations. The fact that they did it and they still maintained the peace within themselves, and they continued to collaborate with people of color and have people of color write their music. Both the Beatles, I don't know about the Rolling Stones. I never followed or listened to them.
I was never a big Stones fan
at all in my childhood. So I can appreciate them as a person, even though I didn't necessarily listen to them all the time, that I know that they championed a lot of that stuff. They were, like Ryan said, they were forerunners. And
yeah, I mean, our music, the music that we love, from the 70s and 80s, and 90s on to the day, I mean, it would be a completely different musical landscape without Elvis and the Beatles and the Stones and all that sort of stuff. Not that I'm I'm not the biggest fans of them, but, I think a lot of the bands that I like, that I looked up to those people. And
right.
It's always a trickle down of influences, Anyone you can think of who shouldn't be famous but is? Oh,
everybody today.
Everybody. Nobody should be famous. Nobody is worthy of fame.
Madonna. She's one of the ones that I still can't wrap my head around how famous she became. I get
she's no Prince.
Prince was as talented, but his singing voice, other than him being an
she's
extremely
no Stevie
talented
Wonder.
musician.
I'm just thinking of somebody who's actually a talented musician. Madonna's she's not even a great singer.
No, that's what was about her. I was like, I just don't understand that. I never got that as a kid. I liked Cyndi Lauper as a kid. I was not a Madonna fan. I was a Cyndi Lauper fan. But yeah, pretty much everybody that has like a mediocre voice. I'm like, I don't understand. But to each his own, because there's somebody out there that was just fall in love with them and just be like, this was the song my dad used to sing to me, or I got married to this song, or blah, 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 blah. And who am I to take that away from them?
I've got someone.
Who?
Ryan Johnson. F that guy. He should not be famous.
He should not be famous. He destroyed Star Wars.
He just destroyed
but yeah,
he's an artist.
I pretty much anybody in the pop community from 95 to today.
Something like that. Cardi B.
Ugh. Good God.
That kind of stuff.
That kind of stuff. Those people.
Those people. You people. Angela.
I said what I said. I am not taking that back.
Thank you for the supreme amount of controversy, Jack the Rabbit. Those were Jack the Rabbit's words about the Beatles, y'all. But I didn't say that.
Yes,
we didn't say that.
We'll have a comment below so you know that was his question. His statement.
Jack said that.
Yes.
Next question. Just fun guitar. Hashtag Pizzatolas.
Yeah.
I got around 30 guitars of varying scale length, so I don't care about that. I like all guitar styles. New question. What is actually not Texan that many people assume is Texan?
Ooh, I don't know.
That's a good question. Cowboys?
Cowboys are Texan?
I know, but there's a lot like...
I mean, Wyoming, Montana.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other, like, we don't...
Those guys are like cowboys.
Oklahoma.
I think Texans are more like ranchers.
Yeah.
Like, not...
We don't have a monopoly on the cowboy.
Like cowboy drive. You know, driving cowboys. Cattle drives.
I mean, it is Texan.
It is,
but it's not just Texan.
I don't know.
That's a good question. I think most things people assume is a very Texan thing is
actually a Texas thing. Maybe like everyone owning horses.
Yeah.
Because owning horses is not really a Texas thing. Like owning a lot of horses.
Yeah.
It's mostly cattle.
Yeah.
Cattle is more of a Texas thing. Than owning horses. We're not a big horse.
Everybody has a
breeder, farmer, type.
There is a lot of that, but not everybody does. I feel like I was somewhere. I might have been in Nam in California.
What do you mean if you go to Fort Worth? It's the cattle.
It's cows.
Stockyards.
Cows are a much bigger deal in Texas than horses.
Yes.
Are. But that is kind of a thing. I feel like I've been somewhere and people are like, "You're from Texas?" I'm like, "Yeah." Did you have a horse? I'm like, "Well,
I did.
Not now." I mean, yeah, when I was a kid.
But there are lots of people who have never even been around a horse. Like, I wasn't around a horse or even saw a horse in real life until I was like 10 years old.
Yeah, but you did see one.
But I did, and we owned two. And, we took care of
two. So all Texans eventually have one.
Eventually. But the way people make it seem, I think owning like herds of horses is more of a northern, because that's where the biggest horse population is. The wild horses, the stallions, the
wild horses.
Yeah. So
drag me away.
I think that's probably one thing about Texans that people assume that we all have horses, and it's more like cows.
Yeah. We all have guns.
Yep. When it comes to barbecue, tacos,
I lost all my guns.
Even
in a
like
boating
cowboy
accident.
hats. We have cowboy hats. Like, I've owned a cowboy hat myself. Like, most people I know have had cowboy hats and boots, and at least once in their life, and have worn it on the reg.
Hey, so, just fun guitar. My favorite boots are my Doc Martens, which are from England.
Yeah, these are my favorite boots.
My second favorite boots are probably my cowboy boots. But,
yeah, and we both have a pair of work boots and like cowboy type boots.
I mean, you got to.
You gotta.
They're snakes.
Have to. Yeah. But yeah,
Wild
I
cougars.
think that would be it.
Possibly. We'll probably think of it later.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the question, Just Fun Guitar. I always appreciate it. Next question. Mike Goodman. Angela, in your opinion, which Beatle had the best singing voice? Ooh, another Beatle question.
Beatles all day long.
Who had the best singing voice in the Beatles?
Ooh.
Ringo.
I know, I was going to say that.
George.
I liked George's voice.
Yeah?
I did. Yeah, I can't remember what song it was that I remember hearing, but I was like, who's singing? Mom's like, George from the Beatles. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know he could sing. She goes, oh yeah, he was like,
they all sang. You know?
And but I was, I was little, so I didn't know the difference. But yeah,
everybody thinks John or Paul is like the question.
I mean, because those are the ones who
primary
heard, through most of the time. Yesterday and Hey Jude and the songs, especially later on in life before they broke up. Those are the songs that you...
I need to listen to a song with George singing, because I'm not like overly a massive fan of...
I guess like
John
off
Lennon
the cuff, I'd have to say Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, they all had the same kind of sound, timbre to their voice, like the
Character.
sense. Yeah. So it's hard to kind of, when I hear their voice, I'm like, okay, which one sang that? Who sang Yesterday? Who sang, Imagine? John singing Imagine was nice. I mean, I don't like the song at all.
Right.
My mom hates that song. Like, she loathes that song.
She does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Story time. There was...
Don't have time. Concise.
Whenever my mom's dad passed away, the day after, we rushed to Dallas, and the day after she woke up, she was laying next to my grandmother, and they had the alarm clock that turned the radio on. My grandfather's alarm clock turned the radio on, and Imagine was playing. And she didn't hear it until he said, Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. And it pissed her off. Like, she picked up the thing and threw it, and she was just like, there is a heaven and my father is there. Like, and she was like, how dare you say that? How dare you sing? Like, she was
F you, John.
She came out of the bedroom. She was like, I can't stand John. I just can't stand him. I was like, why? And she was like, because of stupid Imagine. Like, she was so mad.
She's fired up.
And to this day. And I can imagine I can imagine.
I can imagine.
So whenever it comes on, she's like, change it. Don't ever sing it. Don't hum it. It is forbidden in our household. So, anyways, that's my John Lennon story.
There you go. Thanks, Mike.
So I have to say Paul.
Paul. Okay. Bitter bass player.
Yes.
All right. Next question. Fat philosopher. #Pizzatolas. #Texas, home of the world's second best barbecue. What would be the first best barbecue? I don't know. Pizzatola is definitely the best barbecue I've ever had.
I know, right?
And I've had Alabama barbecue. Mm-hmm. I've had Oklahoma barbecue. Mm-hmm. What have I had? I've had Georgia barbecue. Mm-hmm. It was okay. It wasn't that great, I gotta say. Sorry, Chris Mitchell. You gotta come to freaking Houston for the greatest barbecue of all time. It says, what are the origins of your store? Did you suddenly open up one day or were first working at a different music company? Oh, I feel like concise, yeah. All right, concise. Answer that question concisely.
Yes.
It's not a yes or no question.
We just opened it. Ryan had a friend in Tulsa that he knew had a music store. And through working with a bunch of business owners, we decided after we came back that he wanted to be a business owner.
Yeah, we were already running a business.
Yeah. And so we were like, because of our experience in Tulsa, working for people and having that kind of glooming cloud of you could be fired any minute, we were like, well, we don't want that anymore because we have children and we can't be at the mercy of somebody because they're having a pissy day. So Ryan's like, well, I can go back and do what I went to school for instead of being a band director, which is a Texas thing.
That's very Texas.
Very
Friday
Texas.
Night Football. That is Texas.
He was just like, I think I'm going to start teaching lessons. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because we were making that year we made like $12,000 that year.
After making way more money in Tulsa.
Yes. We went from making it really well to being at the very bottom of the American food chain.
Yeah, starting at the bottom.
So, it was kind of that thing. He worked for, I'll let you tell it.
Well, you're trying to be, I thought you could just immediately be concise.
No, he did work for Guitar Center.
Concise. I have 2 music degrees.
Yes.
I have 2 music degrees in music education in Texas, so I could teach education in the public schools. Mm-hmm. So I've been trained to teach. I have taught drumline, high school band stuff. I've taught, after college, and then didn't want to do the school system stuff and worked a bunch of other jobs in the meantime. Mm-hmm. I did work for Guitar Center when we lived in Oklahoma.
For like a hot minute.
For like 10 months. Mm-hmm. It took about 1 month to figure out you don't make any money as an employee at Guitar Center. But I worked there for about 10 months until I got a better sales job that made significantly more money. Mm-hmm. But so I did work in the music retail side of things for Guitar Center, which is arguably the biggest guitar retailer in America.
Right.
Taught privately before that. And then, but while we were there, I had some friends who basically had what we do. They predominantly taught. They had lessons going on. Larry. Larry. Yeah. And they sold Schecters, and they had little strings, and they had some stuff because they're in they're in the same city as Guitar Center. You're like you're kind of effed if you're trying to compete with guitars. But they did sell some stuff there. But they predominantly taught lessons, and I met Larry while I was working at Guitar Center. And he's like, "Hey, if anybody wants lessons, refer them to me." And I was like, "Sure, man." And of course at that time GC didn't do the lesson thing,
Right.
And so we became friends, and I took a few lessons from Larry, and I was like, "Dude, man, y'all got a sweet." And I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, man, I got a freaking music education degree.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, I can do
Larry
this.
didn't even have a music degree, but he's teaching guitar. So, fast forward, moved back home to help out my family after my stepmom passed away, working, and then like, man, this is, again, working a job I wasn't excited about, and then kind of thought, well, you know what? I could do what my buddies in Tulsa were doing. Let's give it a shot. Why not? Obviously, I have the experience in the education, in teaching, and in the retail, and so we just like, let's go for it. What's the worst gonna happen?
Yeah, and we've been doing this for 12 years now, and I didn't start teaching until year like 3 or 4, and then I started doing little voice lessons, and stuff here and there, and then I got a ukulele for myself. I started learning it, and Ryan's like, "Why don't you start teaching kids ukulele?" I'm like, "Okay."
Because people ask, "Do I teach ukulele?"
And then he got packed with his schedule, and I was like, well, I can kind of teach him beginner piano. I know enough. I was in band until high school, so I was like, I know music enough to teach that and everything. So,
and I've taught you some stuff.
And I've learned a lot over
You've
the
learned
years.
from the master.
Yes, and I can read music pretty well, so I was like, I can do this. So it just kind of developed then, and we are today.
Here we are, 12 years later.
Yes, and almost 70 students between the two
of us. We teach about 70 students currently. Every single week, we got about 70 people that we come in and we teach music, which keeps our schedule pretty dang full. Because it is just literally the two of us working here. So there you go, Fat Philosopher. Thank you for the question. All right, I had to do a thing real quick, but it is time for comment of the day.
Comment of the day.
This is where you're singing.
I am.
Comment of the day time, where Angela and I write a song for you guys right here, right now, in person, without any prior rehearsal or practice, off the cuff. We're going to make a song from a viewer's comment. And today, I thought, let's do something different. Normally, I play the guitar and she sings. And then once I played the ukulele.
Yes.
And you sang.
Yes, you did.
Did we do anything else weird?
Nope.
I think that's the only thing weird. Today, we're going to go kind of techno or something. Oh, they can't see it. And I'm going to play some drums.
All right.
Something like that. Yeah, I have to go that way. So, I'm going to play you a sweet drum beat.
Okay.
And you get to sing. So you can do whatever key you want.
Yeah.
No limitations on chords and keys. It's just beats and melodies.
Here we go.
So excited. Here we go.
5, 6, 7, 8. Stephen Hope, San Antonio over here, best city in Texas. I'm assuming that's a raspberry basement. That's right. Comment of the day.
Comment of the day. I don't know. Was that a rap? Or was
I guess. It sounded like very Hamilton-ishy.
That was very avant-garde.
Something.
Dead Poet Society. Something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stephen Holt. San Antonio over here. Best city in Texas. Yeah, because we talked about the best city in Texas. Dallas, Houston, Austin kind of stuff. And Stephen's like, whoa. San Antonio.
Hey,
and I was like, we said, I'm like, hey, San Antonio's on the list. We added San Antonio to the list.
Yeah, we're like, why does Houston get in there? And
Why
San Antonio not?
Why
it should be Dallas, Austin, San Antonio.
That would have made more sense.
Houston.
Laredo.
It shouldn't even be on.
Why wasn't Laredo?
I know it was populace-wise,
Nuevo,
but
Laredo.
when it comes to culture and richness and beauty and all the things, San Antonio's on my list.
It's
Yes.
pretty sweet. Thank you for the comment. Question of the day, Steven. Next question. Big John, hashtag Bizitolas. Hi, guys. I saw a bumper sticker that said that Florida is just Texas gun. So is Florida Texas gun, or so if Florida is Texas gun, what kind? What kind of gun is Florida?
I could see it more like a Dirty Harry type gun.
Like a 357
like a 357 Magnum. Because you know, like you have like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. It's like the arm of Texas holding the gun.
That's like Rick Grimes.
Yes.
Yeah, the Magnum.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's what I see it as.
357. I was gonna say like a 50 caliber rifle.
Yeah.
That was my thought. It's like, what would you hunt alligators with?
Yeah.
A 50 cal? I mean, you're not going to eat any
Something,
gator
yeah.
after you shoot it with a 50 cal.
No, you're not. Mm-mm.
I like that. It's good. 357. Big John, Florida is the 357 of Texas.
Yes.
There you go.
That's hilarious, though.
That makes sense. All right, next question. Jeffrey Egan, hashtag Pizitolas. I never really thought about baritone guitars until Dan Thompson from Guns and Guitars. Check out his channel if you haven't. I think I have seen his channel. Guns and Guitars. He must be in Texas or Florida.
Or Montana.
Yeah. Built a kit. Oh, that guy built a kit version of one. I must say I really liked it, how it sounded. Maybe I'll build the kit version as soon as I finish my parts caster. You ever try building your own guitar? Hashtag KTMA. I have not ever done a kit guitar build.
Nope.
I think people have asked about this before. I've never done one. Recently, though, I've been kind of intrigued of doing one. I watched a few videos. Phil McKnight has done a couple of kit builds. He did one from, oh man, I completely forgot. Crimson Guitars.
Oh,
Crimson Guitars is in Englandshire. The guy's bald, but it's got like Kerry King head tattoos.
Nice.
You know, head tattoos. But they have a pretty good size guitar channel, and they build guitars. They're like a legit guitar builder, and they make videos. But they also have kits that you can buy, and then you can finish it. And from what it seems like, their kits are pretty high quality.
Oh, cool.
Like you can get some pretty cheap kits with some body and a neck and stuff, and they're all like kind of hot garbage, really.
Yeah. Well,
Anything cheap,
so.
anything cheap generally is hot garbage. But
Yeah.
I have considered it. I don't know when I'll have time to do that though. So I would like to someday build my own guitar
Sure.
or design or something. I just never done. I would like to do the class Texas Toast in Denver. Hello, Toast. Texas Toast has classes. You can go there. I think it's over the course of several days. You can work in their workshop and they help you build a guitar and they help you do it and stuff. I was like, that was really intriguing. I'd like to do that, but I have to hang out in Denver for a couple of days.
Right.
I don't know what I would do in Denver for a couple of days building guitars, or where I'd go, or where I could stay, or,
Right.
you know. We could go. You'd be super bored.
I would.
We could build them together, though. I could build one. You could build one.
No.
We could have a little competition. Like, who builds the nicer guitar?
No.
Angela or Ryan?
No.
Come on!
Not
Be
happening.
exciting. You are way more artistic than I am.
Not gonna happen in a million years. That is like not even on my radar of things that I would actually take pleasure in doing.
Who wants to see that happen?
I don't care. I don't care what you think or say or comment.
I know you don't, but that would be fun.
No, it would not.
I would love to have a guitar build-off competition with you.
Because you are not fun when it comes to stuff like that.
You are crazy competitive. Yeah, like
that sounds like it. Me saying no, and you're like, come on, come on, come on.
I am not Jeffrey, but I would love to. That'd be great. You guys or girls, have y'all ever built a kit guitar? If you have, please tell us in the comments how the experience went for you, what you would do different, any of that kind of stuff. If any of you have done the Texas Toast, build a guitar class with them, tell us down below too. That'd be great. Final question. Mr. Wilson with a P bass question. Do you guys have a rehearsal / practice night for your church worship band? Growing up, we always had that. Now my current and previous church both don't do that because of schedules. I roll. and we just practiced Sunday morning before the service.
Oh, God.
What say you?
That's horrible. Horrible. We've been there. Yes. On the first question, yes, we do.
We do have a dedicated
We do.
practice and rehearsal night during the week, and then at least up to a 40-minute sound check, last minute run through Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, yes. So we do. We've been a part of churches.
Well, every church that I've played in
yes,
has always had a dedicated rehearsal night. And yeah, I mean,
there was a season of time where he
Yeah.
was playing at the church that we currently serve at, and I was serving at the church we were attending. So he was just
I was a
like
session.
an employee, a session person there, and then we would all, as a family, attend in a separate church. And I sang at that church, and they also.
No names.
I wasn't going to.
We shan't name him.
We also only practiced Sunday morning, and they had 3 services. So we had to get there at like 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday and try to cram in sound checks. Then we had in-ear microphones. We had all the bit. And
Amazing technology and equipment.
oh, wonderful. Wonderful people. Sweet. Loved them. Great. Wonderful. Horrible experience when it came
Trucks.
to the...
Texas trucks. Hold on.
they're used to it.
I know.
When it came to the actual practicing and then
Rehearsal?
so like the 8 o'clock service were basically guinea pigs to where all the kinks and stuff got out, and then the 10 o'clock service was a little bit more of the stuff got out, and then by the 11 o'clock service we were polished. So unfortunately the first 2 services were basically at the mercy of our ill-preparedness, not my
yours.
part,
Not you.
because I would spend my week practicing the songs. And but yeah, it was, so we would know sometimes if the screen where our words would come out right, mics would go off, like certain things where people would forget words, and because we only had sometimes even just 30 minutes to practice like a full set.
Because if people were late to the practice on Sunday morning, you didn't
Yes.
even get a full practice set.
Yes.
How stressful was that on a scale of 1 to 10?
70.
Okay.
70. It was pure hell. It was pure hell. I had to muster up all the grace that I could and understanding and love just to them, to look past it just to keep my sanity. But on the inside, my preparedness person that has to have everything in that security for me was dying inside.
And as a performer in the past, like when you did dance and drill team, it's like, how much practice and rehearsal did we do?
Oh my gosh, hours and hours and,
And even
hours
in
and hours.
even in freaking public school band.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
how many months do you rehearse music
That one
before
song.
you perform it?
Yeah, and it would be like, okay, we're just going to play the first 3 measures until we got those 3 measures down. We're just going to do the intro. Rest, 1, 2, 3.
Or like, if you were in public school choir,
yeah,
or one
I wasn't
act
in choir.
play.
Yes, I wasn't in one act play, but
Tons
I was in
of
drama.
rehearsal.
Tons, and to have a church not treat it that way because of schedules is, it's just wrong and frustrating for everybody involved. And then they'll throw that whole, you're doing it for God stuff in it. It's like, yeah, but we should do things excellent.
Yeah, but if you were in a secular band playing stupid bars for people getting drunk, you rehearse and prepare for your
which
gig.
some did. Like some of our band members actually did gigs on the side, and they had more preparedness for their gigs than they did for it. So it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So yeah,
Not the most exciting.
I feel your pain,
Yeah.
Mr. P. Bass.
And it's kind of one of those things. It depends on the size of your church, but smaller churches, I mean, sometimes you're lucky just to have enough people who can play an instrument to have a band at all.
Right.
And I get it. Sometimes, like in our worship team, I mean, we are business owners. There was a previous church before I'm at the one now that we used to have excessive practices that used to drive me nuts personally.
Right.
Because we'd have a Thursday night, we'd have sometimes 3.5 hour practice. I'm like, bro, for 4 songs. I'm like,
Yeah.
because everybody was just kind of screwing off at practice. We did have the practice, but people would come to practice very unprepared.
Yeah. There wasn't a clear leader, so everything kind of was like.
I was like, bro, this should have been
hickety-jickety.
at the max an hour rehearsal, but we're kicking around for 3 hours because y'all are, whatever, not taking it seriously. And I'm like, listen, I literally came immediately from my job, my business that I own, that I'm trying to build, that I work a bazillion hours a week at, straight here to practice, and y'all aren't prepared.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, and y'all are not even ready to, Anyway.
So there's a balance. You can't over-prepare, and then there's obviously...
That's not over-prepare. That's not piss away your time.
Yeah, that was a waste of
yeah.
time. That was not efficient use. Yeah. I feel like right now we're pretty efficient.
Yes, we are.
We have Tuesday night rehearsals.
Yeah.
Again, I immediately leave teaching. We leave from teaching our last lesson and go right over to church band rehearsal. It starts at 7:30. We're generally done at 8:30. Like boom, boom, boom. No fuss, no muss. We're done. We got it. We're good to go.
Yep.
And it's pretty much rehearsals are low stress. Sunday mornings we're low stress. Our sound check, we never take the full 30-40 minute sound check. We're like boom, boom, boom. We're done. Like 20 minutes. Okay. Have good musicians.
Easy songs.
It's a good song selection.
It works great. And I've been a part of churches that were professionals. So I've seen all aspects of it. Like, we were in Tulsa at a Church on the Move in Tulsa, and I will mention them because they're amazing.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
So they had a production team. Like, they had a producer that would come down and make sure everybody was in the right position, so we saw the right camera angles, and all of our mics were working, and then he'd be talking to the guy in booth A and booth B, and it was insane the amount of professionalism. But once they got to because they had Saturday and Sunday services, once they did their Saturday service, it was like chef's kiss. It was just
amazing,
ridiculous, like ridiculously amazing. And you can find them online.
Mostly volunteers.
Yes, you can find them on YouTube. You can just Church on the Move Tulsa or COTM Tulsa and see the kind of quality they put on. And they're not on television. They're not a televised church. They just keep it local and keep it quiet, pretty much.
Yeah.
But they are a hidden gem in America's church circles.
Yeah.
For sure.
Very pro level. Hey, you want to be a part serving this ministry? Here's what we expect.
I mean, they've had some of their producers go on to Disney. One, when we were there, had just left to work for Harpo Productions for Oprah. Like they went on to big television jobs because of the quality of work that they were doing in the church. Got them a foot in the door of the biggest production companies in America. So
that's not most churches.
And I've been on that side and swing all the way over on the other side. Yeah.
It's for the Lord.
Yes, it is for the Lord. So you just kind of just go with it and maybe suggest.
If you're half butting it for the Lord's like,
I'll half butt it for you.
That's half.
I'm just kidding.
I'll forgive half your sins.
No, that's not how it works. Don't say that. All right.
It's not.
Last question.
That was it.
We were done.
That was final question.
So we're coming to the part of our where
wrap it up, babe.
Where we're doing a secret hashtag of the day. If you've made it to the end of this video, this is where the best of you, the greatest, the legends, get a glimpse into our little secret that we have, which is hashtag of the day. So today's secret hashtag of the day is hashtag.
I don't know. I thought you had one.
No, it's your job. Whenever I'm doing it, you have to.
Well, I have to come up with it too sometimes. That's a good question. Hashtag. I don't want him to do anything with the Beatles.
No. What can we do? Oh, here you go. Hashtag Big Mama Thornton.
Hashtag Big Mama Thornton. That's a long hashtag, but that's a worthy one.
It is good.
It's worthy.
Because if you just say Big Mama,
it could be anybody. Everybody's got a Big Mama, usually, somewhere in Texas.
Yes.
Big Mama Thornton. Yeah, if you haven't gone and checked out her version of Hound Dog, you definitely should go check it out. I have checked it out. Because I went and looked it up, and I'm like, what is this?
I think Fat Philosopher is Texas home of the world's second best barbecue. is a pretty long hashtag.
That's a pretty dang long hashtag.
So I think they can type out.
Yeah. Big Mama Thornton is good. All right. That's a great hashtag of the day. Type that down below with your question and your comment to answer these questions and your logically placed rebuttal of Jack the Rabbit's accusations of the Beatles and Elvis.
Yes. And what you think about all the other great stuff that was brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll see y'all in the next video. Surely it won't be freezing in Texas by then.
Who knows?
Who knows? But I guess we can go home. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We can go home and I can edit this at the house.
I know. Wonderful. Because I'm headed to, we drove together, so.
Oh, no, you're not going anywhere without me, babe. You're not going anywhere until I'm ready. All right. We'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
Music needs you.
And you need the music.
We need to keep it alive for the next generation
Desiree.
of Big Mama Thornton
Love.
fans.
Fans. Yes. I was going to say lovers, but
That's kind of...
they're hound dogs, apparently.
Ooh! Next generation of hound dogs. We got some hound dogs at the house.
Yeah, we do. They're nice and warm, though.
Yeah, and they're girls, so they're not really...
Yeah.
They're biscuits.
Yeah.
Hound biscuits.
Bye. See you later, alligator. Yes. So excited.